friends. So it's 7:30 and I'm out here ready to start. Everything's a bit wet, but my aim is to get all the frost cloth that's still up in my garden off and get it out on the grass so it's drying, ready to pack away and put away. I have around 4.5 hours to spend in the garden today, this morning anyway, and then I've got some afternoon running around to do with the kids, and then I'll probably be in the garden again this evening. So last night I came out and did a few things, but I again was out doing afternoon things with my children. So I only got a few hours in the garden yesterday. I'm happy with what I got done, but you know how you always imagine doing more? I was a little bit disappointed that I only got just that done, but it's something, hey. So I am planning to go full pelt again this morning and really spend that 4.5 hours getting as much as I can get done. I still have to pull out a lot of plants. I still have to plant things. I ended up taking everything back inside last night, all the seedlings, because I didn't want to risk it by leaving them out. So seedlings are always much more delicate when they're in a pot than when they're in the ground. So once I get them in the ground, they'll be fine and I won't be worried about them being out here all night. We have had some delays in the work that we're going to be having done, and so that has delayed us in the building and planning and construction of the garden beds and the seed raising house that we have planned to do this summer. So this also means that the section that I was going to move my garden beds, these ones here, further this way, so further that way, I think there's about 2 meters that I'm taking off this end of the gardens, and I wasn't worried too much because I was going to have extra garden beds to fill, but I'm not now, so not until summer anyway. So I might be able to put some things in there, but not a lot. So I'm planting in this section now because that is delayed. So I should be able to plant in here for the next 4 to 6 months, which will be great because there's always more plants than there is space for me to plant out here. So I'm going ahead and I'm planting in these areas. So I will be pulling out things that I've sort of let go to seed that I don't need to let go to seed in the front sections of these gardens, and I'll be planting into them, and just mindful to plant things that will only take a short amount of time, considering that things can change a bit rapidly and I might need these sections within 2 months. So I'll just be planting things that have a shorter harvest time, or time to harvest, and hopefully I won't have to pull them out before they actually get to harvest. So there are a few things that I want to pick up at the nursery today when I'm taking my kids to various things. So I want to get some compost or permafert, in as though I've pretty much run out of my compost that is ready to put on the garden, and I don't have any manure at the moment. So I have put down some dolomite. I sprinkle dolomite on this garden bed. So I do this every time I go to plant things to fix more calcium into the soil. Can you hear that buzzing? Look at these bees. They are so busy. Oh no. There's a bee caught in a web. My instinct is to want to help that bee. Come on, bee. Come on. Come on. Yay. I know that the spider needs to eat, but I don't want it eating the bees. Okay, so back to this garden bed. I want to get some more nutrients to put in these furrows before I put the seed down. So I won't be putting the seed down until later today. And then I'm going to put more sugarcane mulch on top. Now there is heaps of sugarcane mulch on this bed, but I want to keep putting it on top and layering this garden up so it then breaks down into the soil and creates a really nice soil in the end. So a quick little peruse of the garden and what I want to get done. So this is veg patch number 1, and as you can see, we've got trees in pots along here and the rhubarb still to move. That's where the construction is going to begin, hopefully soon. When I say soon, probably after Christmas. And we've got veg plot 2, and as you can see, I still need to stake the beetroot going to seed here, so that's on my list. Also on my list is to pull out this calendula, and I'm going to plant things here, probably my chilies, capsicums, some eggplants. I need to get those in the ground soon. I haven't really got a spot for them yet, so they will be going in these odd places where I'm pulling out other things. And down the end of this row, I will be planting some more corn seed. In this row here with the Rio, I'll be taking out most of the broad beans. Some of the broad beans will be staying here to grow the seed. So I'll be letting them dry up so that I can collect the seed from them. And I'll be planting things like beans and tomatoes down this row. Down this one here, I'll be clearing out a little bit more, but I've pretty much cleared this section of what I want to pull out. And in between what is already growing here, I will be planting potatoes, maybe some more corn. Down this section here, I will be taking out the broad beans and I will be planting more tomatoes. I've got sunflowers and tomatoes already growing down this row, as well as some cucumbers and rock melons and zucchinis. This row here is pretty full up, so I've got carrots and beetroot, and I've still got a few brassicas growing in this section. Okay, and in the last veggie plot, I've got potatoes growing down row number 1. I've got this section in the front here that could have some zucchinis or something growing in here. So I have got the parsley going to seed and I want to keep that there. The poppies could come out eventually. I'm going to let some of the poppies go to seed, obviously, because all of these poppies have come from seed and they're very pretty in the garden. So we'll see whether I pull these out just yet or leave them for a bit longer. I've also got a massive patch of calendula in that row. This is like a mini tour in this video. I haven't done a tour for a while and I'm looking forward to doing one eventually. They just take a long time to film. In row 2, I'm planning on putting more tomatoes. So I have a lot of tomatoes growing in this section and there are a few things to eventually come out of this row. So that will make room for more tomatoes if I have more plants, which I do, but we'll see whether I have enough to fill that section. And then row 3, as I mentioned previously in this video, I plan to sow some carrots, probably some beetroot in these rows here that I have prepared. And where the poppies are, I will eventually probably do another succession sowing of beetroots and carrots. I probably will just make this row mostly root vegetables. And in this row here, I've got all the pumpkins, some zucchinis, some cucumbers and such. So I will continue to go down the row and plant more. I've just got to clear it out. Okay, and down this final row, I have been clearing some of the front here. I've got a lot of baby plants coming up from the mother plants that I have growing in this garden. So I've got a lot of medicinal plants here and then, yeah, the babies of those medicinal plants. And I've got to make a decision whether I want to keep them all or pull some of them out. But I've also got room down here where I've got poppies and lots of calendula plants. I'm actually going to harvest the calendula from these plants here to dehydrate today. And I've also got some red mustard going to seed, a lot of it. So I need to decide which plant I'm just going to let go to seed and pull the rest out. I also have my chamomile patch here. And there's a clear patch here to plant out as well. So I need to figure out what I want to plant here. There is a lot to do, but I have this morning and I have tomorrow, and it is going to be around 27 degrees today and 32 tomorrow. So I'm out here early and I better get cracking on this because it's going to warm up before you know it. Well, I've managed to plant all of my potatoes in this row here, which is very exciting. So I've got one thing ticked off the list. I've then gone and harvested all the calendula that I need to dry that's ready. And so now I'm ready to get rid of some of the calendula plants in my garden and move on. I think I have enough dried for tea and for calendula balm and lip balm to do my infused calendula oil with. So I'm pretty happy with that. I will have a few more plants still and some more coming as well. So I'll have plenty to harvest from if I feel like I need to dry some more flowers. Hi friends. Well, I've had a really lovely day out here. I've just come back from running my kids to here and there, and I'm about to go inside and make dinner. But I wanted to show you what I've completed out here. I have staked up this beetroot here that's going to seed. There's so much seed on this that will eventually dry. I feel good to have it staked now, and it's giving me a nice amount of shade here right now, which is lovely to have in the garden, particularly when it's quite warm now. It's about 27, 28 degrees. So I'm glad I took out all of the calendula from this section here because I found some extra garlics hiding in among the calendula plants. So I've got more garlics. I've been letting them dry off this afternoon, and I will take them inside once I'm done here. I also have this one asparagus plant coming up here. So this is the asparagus. I replanted it when it just had this old asparagus that had gone or tried to go to flower. And I've just noticed this as I was taking all the calendula away. I thought this was dead, so I'm really excited to see that growth there. So for those who have grown asparagus before, please send me your advice. I'm assuming I'm supposed to cut this off, and then this is the new one. And what happens under the soil? Do many come up? Like, does it multiply like daffodils do or other bulbs do? And so I'm going to have many of these coming from this one. Or does it just grow one each year? I'm really keen to hear from you all about this. I had a few more, but I can't find them. I think they must have rotted out perhaps, or they just didn't make it through last summer. So I'm hoping this one does. And eventually I will move this and purchase some more or raise some more from seed. I know some of you have mentioned to not raise them from seed. But yeah, I will have a garden bed in our new garden section for asparagus eventually. So I've still got to work through this section here, and I've still got garlics through here too. So I'll be planting some other things among the garlic, and then when the garlic is done, I'll be pulling those out and the other things will take over the space where the garlics are. So I'll be taking out the calendulas. I'll be cutting back the mint again. I've got a cornflower there as well, which will stay until it's done. So I think this section here, I got a few things from the nursery. I did get one bag of compost just to put a light amount around where I'm planting any plants. I also got some organic dynamic lifter. So I've got that as well to put on these beds. I'm also going to, of course, amend the calcium in the beds, and I got some more sugarcane mulch as well. So later on, after we've had dinner, I'm going to come back out here in the cooler part of the evening, and I'm going to do some amending to the soil to prepare for planting out. I might plant out some things tonight, just depends how much time I have. And I will also spread some seed into the other rows that I prepared yesterday. And I'm just trying to keep going with all of this and getting everything out here. So I've got one more day tomorrow to get some things done. I don't think I'll be spending all of tomorrow out here. I'll definitely be out here first thing, because on a hot day, I like to be out here at about 6 o'clock and get things done before it gets too hot. Good morning, friends. As you can probably tell behind me, my husband has been hard at it last night, brush cutting all the grass along these areas here and over there in Veg Patch 1. That was, the grass was quite high. So feeling good about that. And last night we worked out here until sundown. It feels nice. That's our usual summer rhythm. We usually work hard in the morning up till lunchtime. Then we might have a break after lunch while it's at, the days that it's hottest. And then we will get back out here of a late afternoon, evening. So we'll have dinner in between that session and we just get things done until dark. And if it's too hot in the afternoon, we don't come out till the evening. So it's Thursday, my third day in the garden. It is going to get hot and windy. I forgot that one of my daughters has an appointment this morning, so it won't take too long, but it is interrupting my morning. So I'm dressed for town. I will go into town, and then once I get back, I'll get into my gardening clothes and get to it. And I thought I was going to get away without wearing my sun hat and fly net. But these flies are so persistent. I ended up putting carrot seed and beetroot seed, one type of each. And then I purchased a few seedlings. I've got a few more to pop out today. I purchased some cucumbers. I just decided that those seedlings that had gone under stress when I accidentally had fried them a bit, they just weren't succeeding. They were just stunted. So I decided to rip them out. I think you need to be harsh sometimes and make that decision and stop thinking that you're going to get something out of a stressed plant. And I'm glad I made that decision. I've just decided to buy a few seedlings and just make do with what I've got. The cucumbers that I put out the day before yesterday, they weren't looking so great. One of them is okay. The other one didn't look great. So my hardening off didn't quite work. And I think they've been inside for way too long. So I pulled one of those out and I've replaced that one as well. I also purchased another punnet of cucumbers. So I've got those to plant out. I'll have to finish that row, preparing that row and plant them out. I've got some blackjack zucchini. If I picked up 2 of these, I think I've accidentally picked up 2 Space Saver or Space Master. Cucumbers. I'm pretty sure I had Space Master. I planted those last night. I'll have to go and check. I've clearly picked up 2 of the same by accident. And I also got 2 different types of marigolds. I completely forgot to plant any marigold seeds. So I'm glad to have these. I'm going to plant them among my tomatoes. So that will be nice. Have a bit of colour coming through next to my tomatoes. So wherever there may have been a basil plant that didn't succeed between my tomatoes, however, I have had a little look and the basils are doing really well. Fingers crossed. I haven't had a good basil year up here for a long time. So I've been putting a lot of energy into raising basil seedlings and I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that they are all working. So far, they're looking good. Hi friends. So I had all the intentions of working out here in the garden on Thursday, but when I came back from the appointment that I took my daughter to, it was so windy. I couldn't be out here. It was really bad. So it also got really hot on Thursday. Then of course Friday I worked, and today, Saturday morning, it just starts bucketing down. And as you can probably tell by my hat flying off there, there's a bit of a breeze. It's not too bad. But yeah, it's just stopped raining now. So I'm just finally going to start putting the rest of my seedlings in. And I will probably be out here for the rest of the day. But I thought I'd wind up this video here and catch up with you again next week. And I will show you all the plants that I've put in the ground then, because I think this video is probably long enough. I've actually ended up making it into 2 parts because it was going to be way too long. So anyway, I'm really happy with what I've achieved this week. Behind me here, I have transformed this space, and the space over there where I'm about to plant some zucchini plants that I got from the nursery. I just learned a few things. We got a biosecurity email sent about something that I will discuss in a video soon. It's concerning all the nightshade plants, so tomatoes, chilies, capsicums, and it's a bug. I need to read it again. So I am not purchasing any tomato, chilies or capsicums. I do have a punnet of chilies in the house that I got about a month ago. So I'm not sure what to do with those, but I will reread the email and then I shall, of course, let you all know about it. But I just thought I would flag that right now in case it takes me a little bit to get to doing that video. I hope you're all well and you enjoy the coming week of 20-degree days. That's what we're having here, 24, 27. It's going to be nice. And then I think on Friday it gets back up to 30 again. But I really like this sort of weather. It's what we should have been having in spring, but we're now getting it. So that's all right. As long as it doesn't go straight to endless days of 30 to 40 degrees, I'm happy. See you next time, friends.